Okay, well, I think we can go ahead and get started. We on the record?
Okay.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to our November meeting. I'll go ahead and make a motion to open the meeting.
Second. Member Vandersloot?
Aye.
Member Powers?
Aye.
Member Shannon?
Aye.
Member Loda?
Aye.
Chair Cook?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right. Well, we don't have a ton on the agenda tonight, but we do have some things to get through. Before we address new business, I wanted to just address one item we had tabled from our last meeting, which was the application regarding 50 State Street. We've been advised that the applicant has asked to postpone coming back until the December meeting.
For now, yep.
For now. So I'll go ahead and just make a motion to continue to table that application until.
Second.
Upon request.
Yes. Yes, thank you. On the applicant's request, I will make that motion.
Member Shannon?
Aye.
Member Powers?
Aye.
Member Vandersloot?
Aye.
Member Loda?
Aye.
Chair Cook?
Aye,
Motion passes.
all right.
Conflict.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I almost forgot. No, I did forget. It just reminded me. So yes, we need to do our conflict disclosure. Does anybody, based on the items we have on the agenda tonight, does anyone have any conflicts of interest to disclose? I'll go ahead and start. I don't have any.
I do not. I do not. I do not. I do not.
Right. So the application we have before us tonight is 11 Washington Avenue. And we're looking at, looks like both an area variance and a minor site plan review. Before we jump into, I did want to just take care of one housekeeping issue. We noticed as we were reviewing the application that it also, in addition to the setback variance, it also increased the lot coverage by a small amount. So I think we would need to amend the application to also request a lot coverage variance as well. And I think that's something that we can take care of just, on the record. We don't need you to come back and resubmit or anything like that. But if you're willing to amend the application in that manner, then we can go ahead and consider it. Okay. Yeah, it's wherever you'd like. Yeah, wherever you're comfortable. So yeah, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your project, and then we'll. We should open the public hearing first. Well, no, we can hear from you first, and then we'll open the public hearing. Why don't you tell us about your project?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Brasley, architect, 10 Cambridge Court and Fairport. I'm here representing Jean Williams, who owns 11 Washington Avenue. She's owned the house and for, I think, almost over 50 years. Survey map you have, I think, it's just about exactly 50 years old. I think it's October 1974. Two-family house. Currently, she's living in the downstairs unit and her son is living in the upstairs unit. There's a very small front porch, more like a stoop there right now. It's only about 2 feet, it sticks out from the house, and I think it's about 4 feet wide. And there's an even smaller stoop on the left side, a little setback. That's the main entrance to the upstairs unit. The front stoop, the handrails are in disrepair. They need to get fixed anyway. So she's decided she always wanted a front porch across the front of the house. And so that's what I'm here to talk about, is to tear down the small stoop that's at the main door and the even smaller stoop that's at the upstairs apartment door, kind of set back a little bit. She wants to build a new front porch that is about 31 foot 9 inches wide. It's only about 5 foot 3 feet from the front of the house. And then on the left side of the house, the south, will be about 6 feet wide. It'll go back about 28 feet to that rear door for a total of about 322 square feet. In order to do this, we're here tonight. We're looking for, as the chairman said, minor site plan review and approval. I had thought 2 variances, but it turns out we're asking for 3. So the first is for a front setback of 13.3 feet. Where 30 is required, however, there's another part of the code that says you can average the setback of the houses on either side, the adjacent houses. And the house to the north, number 9, is 13 feet, the house to the south, number 17, is 17.9 feet, that averages to 15.4, sorry for all this math. So we're looking for a 13.3 setback where 15.4 is required, and that's a difference of 1.9. The second is the side setback on the left side and rear, or I'm sorry, the south. The existing house has 2 little bump outs on the left side, both of those are 9.6 feet from the property line, where 10 feet is required. The new porch will match that, so there's already a part of the house that extends 0.4 feet into the setback. And it just makes more sense to make the porch same size as that bump out, so they match. Plus, the door is very close to the corner, we really couldn't get the handrail in there anyway. So that's what I thought the application was when it was submitted the other week. I found out from Mr. Left in the building department that there's also a lot coverage. I don't know if you have the numbers, but he gave them to me. The current lot coverage is 31.84%. If this porch is constructed and approved, it will go up to 34.58%.
Sorry, can you just repeat those numbers?
I sure will. I made Steve do the same thing. Currently, it's 31.84%.
Okay,
And with this proposal, it will increase to 34.58%. Which is a change of 2.74%. And 25% is the maximum allowed in the village code. I'm sure you're familiar with the house, or at least with some of the photos. I have some if you don't. In front of the house today and what it's proposed to look like. For these variances, I think that I can easily explain why I think it meets the 5 rules that we should consider for zoning area variance. First is how it will not alter the character of the neighborhood. Most of the houses on this stretch of Washington Ave already have front porches that are as wide or almost as wide as their houses. That's what we're looking for here. We really want to impede the views from neighboring houses. I drove up and down, walked up and down Washington Ave. There's a number of houses already on that block that exceed what we're asking for. Number 9 next door, which I already discussed, is 13 feet from the property line, so it's a little bit closer than we're asking for. Number 7, the next house after that, closer to Monroe Avenue, is even closer. I didn't measure it exactly, but it seems to be about 8 feet. Also across the street, in the other direction towards Lincoln, number 14 is also very close to the street too. So I don't think it will impede the view from any of the neighboring properties, and it's quite a small variance. We're only looking for 1.9 feet of relief. I'm also supposed to review any alternative methods that would avoid needing a variance. We're only proposing the porch to be 5.3 feet deep. That's not very deep. There'll be enough room for a chair and a tall guy like when you stretch my legs out, and that's about it. Normally I would want to make the porch a little bit bigger, 6 or 8 feet deep, but we're trying to keep the variance as small as possible. There is a jog in the front of the house. At the front door, it's set back 1.9 feet. So it'll be 7 feet at the entrance, but across the front, it's only sticking out 5.3 feet. In my mind, that's not a very deep porch. You certainly couldn't have a table or have someone sitting and make it easy to walk in front of it if someone will, if Mrs. Williams wanted to sit out front or have someone over or something. And I already talked about the left side setback staying at the 9.6 feet. That's only a 0.4 foot variance I'm asking for. And where the door to that apartment is, it would be really tough to have the handrail bump right pretty much into the door. Right? Since the house is once again already 9.6 feet, we just want to match that again. It'll be no worse than it is today. The third question is how substantial it is. I think I've reviewed that. We're looking for only 14% relief from the code on the front setback. That doesn't sound like very much to me. And for the side setback, we're only looking for 4% relief, which is only 0.4 feet. I don't think it'll look out of character to any of the other porches on the street. I think it's a beautiful porch. I think it will improve the house definitely in the neighborhood in general compared to what's there now. Next is the environmental impact. There won't be any environmental impact from a new porch. The total porch area is only 322 square feet. There'll be a little bit of additional stormwater created by the roof. It's very little that can easily be handled on site by gutters and downspouts. And as I already said, I don't think there'll be any negative visual impacts. I think it will improve both the house and the neighborhood. And the last criteria, my favorite, is the self-created. Obviously, this is a self-created hardship. But I think the benefits to the applicant having a usable front porch and replace the existing one that's in partial disrepair outweighs any potential negative impacts to the village or the surrounding neighborhood. Assuming I'm successful with site plan and my 3 variances this evening, the next step would be to go to the Historic Preservation Board, I believe, on the 17th. Do you have any other questions for me?
Just one question about the, you mentioned that can you be handled by downspouts? Is the plan to put in some new downspouts or tie into any existing downspouts?
The plan right now is for downspouts and gutters with splash blocks. The homeowner and her son both said they've never had any drainage issues on the property, even in hard storms. I
Okay,
guess there's a lot of sand there. I haven't investigated any, but the existing front porch, front stoop roof does, the gutters are in bad shape also, and those would need to be replaced also. So I think it'll be better for the environment. I don't think there'll be any impact to stormwater drainage off the property. Once again, it's only 322 square feet,
Yeah.
that's not a lot.
yeah. And do we know what the existing roofs, I guess it's 2 roofs, right? That
Yeah,
are
they're
there?
not, they're totally separated, like it must be.
Yeah, and so those are, do we know what the current square footage of those 2 roofs is?
I can estimate for you, the one in the front was a little bit bigger, probably maybe 12. Well, it's 7 feet wide, so it's maybe 40, I apologize, and the rear one's probably about 12, so maybe 50, so we're going up about 250 square
Yeah.
feet. Which is probably smaller than the size of
Yeah.
this room,
Yeah, not.
even in a heavy rated
bang
room,
on
it's
that,
not much.
Yeah. Okay. Any other members of the board have questions?
This is kind of getting into HPV territory, but the house has some lovely architectural features like that. What is that kind of Greek?
Top table,
Yeah, what is that called? That's why I'm not on HPV.
Yeah.
What is that?
that's what you're asking about,
It's along the window.
Along the
you mean
window?
the pediments on top of the window,
No,
No, it's a.
or on the side view?
the little riprap design.
Oh, dentals, teeth.
Oh, yeah,
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Sorry, no architects love to use jargon. I call teeth, everybody knows what I'm talking about. When I say dentals, I get a weird stare.
yeah.
We're not proposing any of that. Those won't change at all. They'll still be completely visible on all parts of the house. But I'm sure that's something that will come up if I make it to the Historic Preservation Board.
Right.
This portion will have a very low slope.
Uh-huh.
So all of the architectural details on the front windows, both the first floor and the second floor, aren't going to be touched, won't be changed at all. The roof will be.
They won't be changed, but will they, will those pretty windows, those 2 windows across the front be visible?
It's an open porch, so yes, it'll be less visible because there'll be it's only a 5 foot deep porch in front of them, but they still will be visible, yes.
So there's a substantial bush out in the front yard,
Hmm.
so that I would assume is gonna come off, right? And
Yes.
the one along the side,
Yes,
uh,
the one along the side is in worse condition and is quite
Right.
overgrown.
right,
Although photos I took at the end of August, was well trimmed, it's grown since then.
Hmm.
They're just planning on some smaller, easier to maintain foundation plantings in the front when all this is done, and nothing on the side.
Mhm.
Mrs. Williams is quite elderly. I don't know if any of you know her. I think she's in her 90s, so she wants the minimal amount of
Maintenance,
maintenance.
yeah.
Once this is done.
Yeah. Makes sense. Any other members of the board have questions for the applicant? Okay. Well, thank you very much. Oh, yeah.
I just want to clarify about lighting.
Oh,
What's there now? With a light beside each door?
No, I believe there's a ceiling light. Oh, yes, you're right. I thought there was a ceiling light. Apologize, I'm doing a different porch in Webster. I'm getting them confused. There's a small porch light on each side of the front door which will remain. And she's looking for some ceiling lights in the porch ceiling. That will probably either be flush or flush mounted, so that won't be visible from the street unless they're on, of course, at night. But they're not planning any floodlights with bright lights or anything like that.
so it sounds like we will be adding some lights to what's there currently.
Maybe two
Yeah.
ceiling mounted lights, which will only be on if she's expecting a gas.
Sure.
To be out in the evening.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any other questions for the applicant? Okay. In that case, I think I would go ahead and move to open the public hearing.
Second,
Member Vanderswag.
Aye.
Member Loda,
Aye.
member Powers,
aye.
member Shannon,
Aye.
Chair Cook,
Hi,
motion passes.
okay. I don't see anybody in the audience that looks like they're here to speak on this, but if anybody that is here would like to, anybody have any comment that you'd like to make? Okay. Do we have anybody online?
We have one participant online.
So if you're watching online, if you would like to make a comment, you can raise your hand or use the messaging feature to message Alexandria, and we will gladly hear what you have to say.
Nothing.
Okay. All right, well, I
And we
guess-
did not receive any written comments either.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess unless anybody disagrees, I guess I thought we would start with the area variances first and then move on to the site plan review. You know, first of all, thank you for your presentation and for your application. I think you did a good job including all of the information that I thought was very helpful. So I guess we'll start with the setback variances, and just for anybody, yeah. Yeah, I guess we could do that, or we could keep it open.
Was it noticed for 6:30?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can keep open.
Let's maybe leave it open until we're ready to make a decision, and then we can close it. Just in case somebody comes on and they want to speak. So just in the interest of transparency for anybody who's watching, what we're tasked with doing is reviewing the area variance, and we have criteria. These are listed in Village Law 7/712B, subsection 3B. Not that those numbers necessarily mean anything to you, but if you want to go look it up, you can see that. The basic question that we're supposed to answer is we're supposed to weigh the benefit to the applicant against the potential detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood. And we've got this list of 5 criteria that the applicant kind of alluded to earlier. Whether there will be an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to any nearby properties, whether the benefit can be achieved by some other feasible means, whether the variance is substantial, whether the variance will have an adequate impact on physical or environmental conditions, and then whether the difficulty is self-created. And in considering these, we are supposed to grant the minimum necessary variance. So with that said, I guess we'd start with whether there will be an undesirable change in the character. Please.
are you starting with the front setback or the side? Cause I think those are two different determinations, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. Let's start with the front.
If anyone wants a worksheet. I don't know.
Yeah, great point. Let's start with the front.
Perfect.
I mean, I'll state my view on it. I don't think that this would work any undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood, especially given the fact that there's already bump outs on the house, and we're keeping that same line. The house is not going to be extending any further into the front than it already does at its furthest point.
What?
What's that?
Never mind.
Okay.
The side is the bump out that.
Yeah.
The front is,
Well, the front is this too,
Right.
yeah.
the front just has the stoop, but it will be extended further up.
Okay.
Is
No,
what I
yeah.
think Joanne's saying is the keeping it in line with the side is.
That's
is
right,
the
yeah.
side, the front is now going to be closer to the sidewalk.
That's
'cause you
right.
Have the porch and then the steps going down.
Oh, yeah.
By five.
No, you're right, thank you.
Right, I mean,
If I can clarify, the
Yeah.
existing porch sticks out about 2.1 feet plus the stairs another 3 for 5.3. And we're looking for 5.1 also, plus the stairs is another 3, but usually you only measure for the porch.
Okay,
for Setbacks,
so the current stoop comes out, you said
2.1,
2.1. Okay, with the stairs, it's
5.5.
5 point, okay.
So how far will the stairs be from the sidewalk?
They'll stick out another 3 feet.
10 feet.
10.0.
The front of the house is about 20 feet from the sidewalk, property line's about 1.5 feet inside the sidewalk, so, oh, it's right on the drawing, view of my drawing, see,
Yeah.
the stairs,
3
3 feet,
free.
10.3 feet.
Yeah.
Plus another 1.5 would be 11.8 feet. To the sidewalk,
Okay,
11.3 to the property line.
Thank you.
okay. Yeah, I don't think that it would be an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood. There already are. Several, I'm familiar with the street, and there already are several. Homes that have porches that stick out about like this or further. What, I want to hear what other members of the board think. Anybody have other? concerns or-
I agree. I think that this is not out of character with the neighborhood. And I go up and down there all the time and a lot of the porches are close to the sidewalk. It's not inconsistent with the neighborhood character.
The neighborhood itself isn't consistent. Some are,
True.
are further back than others, but I think the second house in from Monroe Avenue comes out significantly
It is.
further than this will.
Mhm.
The house next to it on the left as you're facing it is significantly further
Further
back.
back.
So, that's this neighborhood.
The other side of the street, most of them are closer.
Yeah.
True,
Right.
It's all, yes, in general, Washington Ave is kind of sweet.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Right.
true. Anybody have anything else that you'd like to
I
say on
think it's
that?
always desirable for a home to have a front porch.
I would agree. So the second criteria is whether the benefit could be achieved by some other feasible means. I think I would say the specific benefit sought could not be achieved by other feasible means. Having a smaller porch would not give the benefit to be able to put chairs out and sit. You know, my home has a very, very small, probably less than 3 feet porch, and yeah, you can't really do much with it. So, the benefit that they're seeking here to be able to put chairs on it and really use it as a porch, I think we can accurately say that that benefit could not be achieved by some other feasible means. Anybody have any other thoughts on that, or anybody disagree?
No, but I would also say that, Pittsford Village has developed a significant porch culture.
Sure.
And I think this is an addition to that. It's a very friendly, kind of very American vernacular feature.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I would agree.
Mhm.
And you know, this is maybe more HPB territory
Yeah.
than us, but
Yeah.
I think it improves the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Third criteria is whether the variance is substantial. We're looking at going from current setback of or not current, but from the code, if I understand correctly, is 15.4 if you take the average. And we're going from 15.4 down to 13.3. I think I'd probably lean towards saying that that's not substantial, but I could probably be persuaded that it is if somebody has a, you know, compelling reason. I mean, we're talking about a difference of about 2.1 feet, if my math is right.
I think it's I think it's okay. I think it's substantial. It's a pretty small front lot. So I think
Sure.
in proportion to what they're working with, it's not just the number, but it's the context. For
Yeah.
it. So I think
Yeah.
it's substantial, meaningful, but okay.
Yeah,
Can you have both? I think.
I think we can.
You don't have a statistic for substantial.
Yeah, I've always wondered that, you know, where we don't have, like, in the code, it doesn't say, you know, once 26%, that's the
Right.
thing, there's nothing quite like that,
Right.
but, yeah, I mean, I think I guess I think Susan makes a good point. We're talking about a relatively small front property,
So it is, yeah,
2.1
in
feet
context of what you're looking
Yeah.
at, yes.
Yeah.
could be substantial. I mean, that by itself doesn't require we deny it, but I think,
Right.
I think I would probably say that it is substantial, but, it's a substantial departure from the code, but maybe not a substantial departure from what is currently there.
Why, do you need that second part?
Probably not. I don't think we need it, no.
Yeah, I mean, it's a meaningful difference from the code. But appropriate to the lot size. It's something like.
Yeah.
It's substantial to the property, but not to the character of the neighborhood.
That's what I was just gonna say, it's like not, like, it's not substantial with respect to the character of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Which is not everyone,
Yeah.
but, you know,
Yeah.
a number throughout the area.
That's a great point, that it's a substantial change to the property, but not going to create a substantial change to the neighborhood itself. Yeah. Anybody have any other thoughts, concerns on that one? So the next point we're supposed to consider is whether the variance will have an adverse impact on physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. I think for substantially the reasons stated by the applicant, it would not. We talked a little bit about drainage, and it sounds like the increase in storm water is not going to be significant and will be handled adequately. It looks like we are losing some vegetation, but it will be replaced with some other vegetation. I think my inclination would be to say, on the whole, it would not have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions on the neighborhood. Anybody disagree with that or have any other thoughts? All right, and then finally, it's whether the difficulty is self-created. I think for the reasons the applicant stated, it is. This by itself doesn't mean we need to deny it. But I think we'd have to say that it is self-created. So based on that, my recommendation would be that we grant the front setback variance, as requested by the applicant.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and make that motion.
Oh,
Second. I'll take member Vandersloot, second. Okay. Member Shannon,
I,
member Rhoda,
I,
member Powers,
I,
member Vandersloot.
Aye.
Chair Cook,
Right?
motion passes.
Alright. So I guess next we will look at the side setback variance. We're going from 10 feet as required by the code down to about 9.6 feet. I think thank you. I think this is where I was a little bit confused, where member Shannon set me straight. That we had this bump out that's already there. So while the total part of the house that goes out that far is going to increase, the house is not going to extend any further toward the side yard than the furthest point does already.
Right.
We're talking about 0.14 feet. That's a relatively small. Although it is, the side yard itself is pretty small, that is a relatively small amount. So I think, the analysis is pretty similar. I don't think that this would work an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. I don't think it would cause detriment to nearby properties. Not that failure to raise an objection is dispositive or anything, but I would note that, nobody from nearby properties has appeared to oppose it or raise any concerns. So I think I would say that it would not work an undesirable change. Anybody disagree or have, other thoughts or comments on that?
it's the neighbor to the left, and that's where this part of the porch commented at all.
Neighbor to the south, which I believe is number 15, no. Mrs.
Rental.
Williams did speak to the neighbor to the north, number 9, the house that just come out farther,
Right,
who had no objection. The house to the south may or may not be a short-term rental and is mostly not occupied. I'm not sure. But I don't believe that if there's usually someone there, so I don't think that Mrs. Williams had a chance to talk to that neighbor.
okay, just curious.
Yeah. So the second one is whether the benefit could be achieved by some other feasible means. I think for basically the same reasons that we discussed on the first one. I would say that it probably cannot. The third factor we look at is whether the variance is substantial. We're talking about a 0.4. I mean, my just to be transparent, my thought is it probably is not substantial, but given that the side yard is so small, then maybe it is. What are other members' thoughts on that?
I don't think there's room to use this side yard, even as it is, for anything. Other than a porch.
Good point.
Well, to get up to the door,
Right,
right,
but I mean.
that's all,
Right,
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a sliver.
yeah.
Mhm.
As many properties in the village are. So I think I would say that it's not substantial. The fourth criteria is whether the variance will have an adverse impact on physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. I think for the reasons we discussed with the front setback, it would not, for basically the same reasons here. And also for the reasons that were just mentioned, that side yard is not something that would be likely able to be used for anything else. Anybody have any other thoughts on that? All right, and then finally, last one, whether the difficulty is self-created, again, I'd say it is. That obviously does not mean that we need to to deny the application. So, based on all the factors together, yeah, go ahead.
Are we missing the minimum necessary to provide relief?
Oh,
and
yeah,
any characteristics
yeah,
or findings? I don't think we captured them, but if we.
yeah, that's right. I would say that it is minimum.
Right.
Yeah, I would think that it is because I don't think that you could provide the the relief that they're asking for with any smaller variance.
Well, just to make the porch functional.
Right.
I would, yeah, I think that's the minimum.
Yeah, and I think that's true for both.
Yeah.
Both. Anybody have any thoughts on, other characteristics of the property that are relevant or that we should know? Alright. So, based on that, I think my recommendation would be, well, should we go ahead and vote first, or should we close the public hearing first?
I'm not the boss, but we have.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ask you. I was looking at you, but I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Hearing now and then go through and everyone can record their vote.
Okay, I guess we'll do that. Or should we keep it open until we do we'll close it? Okay, all right.
It's a little cleaner.
All right, sounds good. I will go ahead and make a motion to close the public hearing on the area variance application.
Second. Member Shannon,
I,
member Powers,
Aye.
member Vanderswag. Aye. Member Loda,
Aye.
Chair Cook,
Aye.
motion passes.
All right. All right, now I will go ahead and make a motion that we approve the side setback variance for the reasons discussed.
second,
Member Powers,
Aye.
member Vanderswag. Aye. Member Loda,
Aye.
member Shannon.
Aye.
Chair Cook,
Aye.
motion passes.
All right. Okay, I guess the next would be for us to consider the lot coverage variance. We're going from we're going up from about 31.84% to 34.58%. And we're going up from the current code requirement of 25%. So, going through the factors, I think my thought initially is that it would not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to any nearby properties. Basically, for the reasons we discussed, there are a lot of porches in the neighborhood like this already, and the village in general, a very large portion of the properties are substantially over the code requirement anyway. So I don't think that this variance would create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. Anybody have other thoughts, or anybody disagree? Okay. Next factor is whether the benefit could be achieved by some other feasible means. I don't think you could build a usable porch by other feasible means. So I would say no. Whether the variance is substantial, I think we would have to say that it is substantial, going from 25% to 38 or 34.58% I would say that is a substantial variance. But I would say that it still is the minimum necessary, and considering all the other factors, I don't think that it being substantial alone is a reason for us to deny it. And then, let's see, next factor is whether it would have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. We talked a little bit about the stormwater. I think I'm satisfied that it wouldn't create an adverse impact. Anybody have anybody disagree or think that there are other things that we should consider in that?
The property kind of slopes a little bit down toward the street anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, true, yeah.
Have you located the gutters and down for the downspouts?
Where the new ones are going to go or where the existing ones are?
No, where the new ones are gonna go.
No, but I was going to review that with the Historic Preservation Board. My
Oh,
guess is
okay.
it will be on the far right corner to the north. And back by the entrance to the upstairs apartment on the south.
Okay.
Because to me, the left-hand side, the south side of the porch is the most important part, and I wouldn't want a downspout there. Most people probably wouldn't care, I would, but. That's what I'm guessing is the two ends,
Hmm,
the right end and the far left end.
okay.
He also
Um,
wants everything white, everything, no exceptions, and so it'll be white downspouts, hopefully they'll blend in and they want it to be noticeable.
yeah. And then finally, I think I'd say that is the minimum variance necessary and adequate for this type of relief. And I don't think there are any other, characteristics of the property that I would note unless other members of the board think there are. Okay. No, unless anybody has anything else to add, I think I would go ahead and make the motion that we grant the lot coverage variance.
Second.
Member Loda,
I,
member Vandersloot,
Aye.
member Powers,
Hi.
member Shannon.
Aye.
Chair Cook,
Aye.
motion passes.
Okay, so I guess the next thing is to move on to the site plan review. I don't want to throw a wrench in things, but I did have a little bit of a concern, or maybe a question for council on this. It was framed as a minor site plan review, an applicant for minor site plan review. I wondered though whether it was major, it should have been made, whether we have to do major, just because what I'm looking at is section 210-34.2 A2 of the code. It says minor site plans are required for developing, expanding, altering, or demolishing a building not exceeding 400 square feet in gross floor area and 1 story in height. Now, the porch itself is not exceeding 1 story in height. Is it exceeding 400 square feet?
No.
Okay,
322.
okay, so we're not, but the building is obviously more than 1 story.
You aren't modifying the building, you're only adding a porch.
Okay,
Yeah, subsection 4 under there. A4.
oh, porches, yes, okay, good,
And then
okay,
porches are explicitly, I checked this before I came.
okay,
Porches are explicitly excluded under
okay, perfect.
primary site plan review. So this is a minor.
Oh, good, good, all right, I'm glad. I just wanted to make sure we're doing it right. That's very good. Well, when I reviewed it, I didn't think there was anything missing from the application. Any members of the board have any concerns about that? Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. So we have all the, yeah. So we had the site plans and everything. I thought everything looked pretty good. We're supposed to look at things like plans for disposal of construction and demolition waste and all that. Is that all handled? We have, is there gonna be a dumpster or?
There will be a dumpster on the property, Mrs. Williams just stopped driving, I don't believe her son drives either, so the contractor's plan is to store it in the driveway. And there's plenty of room for that, I'm on the north, the right side of the house.
Let's see, we're also supposed to look at, actually, pull up the worksheet, actually. I think looking at seeker, this is a type 2 action, and we don't have to do any further seeker review. Site plan review is exempt from Monroe County planning under general municipal law 239M. It's not within the waterfront area, so we don't have to worry about waterfront consistency review, and doesn't appear to require approval from any other state or county agencies. All right, they've applied for the required variances, which we just voted to grant. Next, we look at the comp plan. I didn't see any concerns with the comp plan.
No, I think it's really in keeping, with some of the values of the comp plan to, a front porch promotes community and socialization, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, the porch culture.
Horticulture, yeah.
Yeah. I saw no impact on vehicular traffic and circulation, maybe, minor impact of having the dumpster in the drive, but as you mentioned, she does not drive at this point, so that's, any impact is likely to be pretty minimal. Same thing for pedestrian and bicycle access and circulation. I don't really see any real impact there. I see no incompatibility with proposed uses to adjacent uses. If anything, it's maybe even more compatible with the whole porch culture idea. No impact on adequacy of off-street parking, loading and access. We talked a little bit about landscaping. We're losing some vegetation, but we're gonna be replacing it. So I'm satisfied that there's no issues there. Signage is not applicable. We talked a little bit about lighting. I just want to make sure that whatever those ceiling lights are, that they comply with the current code, and just, I guess maybe we can just put a condition that the lighting gets approved by a building inspector, and we can probably leave it at that.
If I may interrupt without, once again,
Please.
those would be downward facing lights, the two sconce lights or porch lights, whatever you wanna call them, on the wall on either side of the front door aren't gonna change at all.
Yeah.
And I doubt she's gonna be turning on those ceiling lights.
Right.
frequently. If the house changes hands in the future, I doubt the future owner would either, unless they were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Sitting out there at night or expecting someone, to
Right.
ring the doorbell.
Yeah.
So they'll be flush mount, either fully recessed or not dropped down by much.
All right, yeah, I will say, make sure, work with Steve, make sure that the temperature and all that is within code, and I think you should be okay. All right, great. We talked about drainage already. I don't think there's anything else we need to say on that. Water and sanitary sewer systems, I don't think is affected. We talked about waste and trash management plans. I don't think snow removal plans is applicable to this application. And then finally, whether the proposal will adversely affect health, safety, and general welfare of adjacent property owners in the community. I would say, for the reasons we discussed, if anything, it would improve it. Anybody have any other thoughts or concerns? All right. And then finally, we say the fire marshal reviewed the site plans and made the following observations. Is there any observations you wanted to make?
I find no detrimental issues with this project. One thing I do want to mention though. You probably should address the demolition of the existing two.
Okay. So, in terms of that, you will need to get a building permit, obviously. I think we can put a condition in there that, and we usually put a condition that they have to get the building permit within a year. I don't think that the demolition itself would cause any kind of detriment. Any other thoughts on that?
Doesn't that go before the HPP?
Yeah,
Oh, true,
Demolition.
yeah.
Right, demolition is the HPV.
HPV.
Oh, yeah, type B would be, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
At least it's on the record that you guys
Yeah.
acknowledged it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
In the minutes.
good. All right, anybody have any other thoughts, or anybody think there's anything else we should consider before we vote on this one? All right, I think my motion to close the public hearing was limited to the variances, so I should probably make another motion. So I'll go ahead and move to close the public hearing on the site plan review application.
Second.
Member Powers,
I,
member Vanderswag,
Aye.
member Loda,
Aye.
member Shannon,
Aye.
Chair Cook,
Aye.
motion passes.
And that being done, I will go ahead and move that we approve the minor site plan review application. Or I guess grant the minor site plan review application and approve the minor site plan.
I think I had two conditions. One was
Yes.
the building permit and then lighting to be approved by the
Yes.
code enforcement advisor.
Yes, with those conditions.
Second.
Member Vanderswag,
Aye.
member Powers,
I,
member Loda,
Aye.
member Shannon,
Aye.
Chair Cook,
Aye.
motion passes. What's your site plan dated?
My date or,
This David, yeah, the dated site plan.
October sixth,
Thank you.
I think I submitted on the seventh.
It's okay, I would have looked, but you're right, so.
Well, set.
Yes, congratulations. Thank you. Good luck with the project. Hope it goes well. And
Thank you.
yeah,
I like that term, horticulture of the flower with younger still, I do a very. To those of Western later this month, very, I want to be clear. Nice term. Everybody kind of understands what you're talking about when I say that.
yeah.
Have a good night, everyone, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
You can wish me luck in Webster later.
Yeah, good luck. Okay, well, I think that takes care of the business on the agenda. We do have a couple of items. One is board member trainings and communication. I wanted to just mention, I think primarily me needs to improve on some communication, just reviewing the packet well in advance of the next meeting. But we'd like to make sure that, you know, everybody's encouraged to review everything, and then, you know, if you notice anything that's missing or have concerns, that we raise that, and give, you know, we raise that with as much time as possible so that we can give applicants time to amend or supplement if they need to. We don't want to have people show up and then find out for the first time that, you know, there's something missing. I know that sometimes happens and sometimes it can't be avoided, but I think if we are, and primarily me, but I think, you know, everybody, if we can make an effort to review things well in advance, we can hopefully minimize that.
So the suggestion has been made that there could be a week after the application is submitted,
Yeah.
that a small committee just take a look at it.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great idea. We could have like Joanne and I, you know, have some experience, maybe so one of us and a newer member, along
Yeah.
with Steve and the applicant. I think that's a great idea. The suggestion was also made to review materials on the website and kind of consolidate them
Mhm.
and make something available to every applicant or everybody who is anticipating a project, that this is what the process is like, and this is what you can expect. So I think that project going through, I guess, a pretty diverse mix of articles on the website, kind of streamlining those
Yeah,
along with the ad hoc committee to review. I think that would really provide some
I
streamlining.
agree.
Right, right, and give us some deadlines, because
Mhm.
if I don't have a deadline, I have the 12th hour.
Yeah.
So, right. So I think that would, and again, we can talk about it and, can maybe rotate people.
Mhm.
But I think that, that review session would be helpful for everyone.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and that, and that was brought to us by
Yeah.
John Limbeck, so our trustee liaison.
Mhm.
So thanks, John,
Yeah,
for that.
it's a fantastic suggestion.
Yeah,
And he also has 30 years of planning.
Yeah.
under his belt, which is a Big,
right.
big plus.
Yeah,
Just keep my office in the loop for how that's going to work. We just want to make sure that
Yeah.
it doesn't run afoul of the open meetings law.
yes, absolutely.
Right, yep,
Right,
Yep.
right,
how many people.
right. No, because.
Evaluate and make sure.
Yeah, we can't be deliberating or prejudging in those
No, no.
meetings. It's just simply to review the completeness of the application.
Exactly. So administrative.
And if there's at least a quorum meeting, it's considered a meeting of the board. So we
Right.
want to make sure that we keep the number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Below.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right.
Great point. And then
Something about the
trainings, yes.
I know the trainings are always ongoing and, last meeting, it was brought, just to attention, a request to have like an in-person. I'm definitely working on that. And then in addition, the mayor is actually going to, be very clear that she really wants the boards, not just this one, but HPV two, to dedicate maybe like every other month, coming in an hour earlier if your schedule permits, and doing the trainings together. And I would actually put them on the meetings calendar, so you like know that they're happening. It sounds like that in-person component is missing, and maybe may help people progress in getting their trainings done, because we do have them available virtually, but the in-person one specifically that was requested is the one that I'm working on.
Is he still doing it? or-
I haven't gotten a response yet, so yeah, I need to show up to his office if.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with too.
Track him down.
Yeah.
I've also offered trainings to my municipalities if you
Oh,
have
great.
difficulty finding someone. We've had some issues. One of them had an Article 78 a couple years ago, and they wanted to brush up on area variance and use variance tests, and I went in and did the training.
That's fantastic.
An option
Yep.
as well. Me,
Yep.
Denise, Jake.
Great.
I like that. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thanks.
So, Susan reminded me that we, besides Frank and Karamamana, we also had webinars that we attended because we were all brand new. We had no clue what we were doing, all Imana at once. And the webinars were by Wade Beltramo,
That's right.
who's
He's
with,
wonderful.
Yeah.
who's with NICOM. So I'm wondering if those webinars,
Are on the list that
Good.
you guys have, yeah, they're
Yeah.
hyperlinked. Yeah, and certified, but, and Susan mentioned that even if you came and watched them together and, an hour before.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
really helpful.
That's a good idea.
Right,
Yeah.
I so recommend that we, make a date to do that.
Yeah.
Because when we're all together, we can stop it, we can talk about it, Joanne and I can say, oh, and this was the case, when.
Yeah,
75 Monroe or something like that.
Night, John.
thanks, John. All right,
So.
see you, John.
I think, and I could use certainly a brush up, but this is planning board 101, but it's even down to what's the difference between a hearing and a meeting and, some oddities of New York State municipal law, which are, myriad.
Not always intuitive.
Right. So I would hope that we can get together and do one. It just gives Steve a
Yeah.
great kind of some footing. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. Should we, try to get something on the calendar now, or can we circulate dates?
The 2026 calendar, I'll have it in front of you guys. I'll probably send it to you virtually so you can look at it, but I actually labeled on there like training night starting at 5:30 or.
Awesome.
And then we do have some slow months, so maybe that would be like a 2 hour, because this board has 8 hours, so 1 hour bi-monthly isn't gonna meet that, but. The slower application months.
Yeah.
You can use it for training.
Great call. I love it.
Great.
We did have an item on here for application form updates.
That was mainly what Susan was talking about.
Oh, with the stuff on the website,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, good.
Right.
Well, I don't think there's anything else unless anybody has anything else that you think we should address tonight. Anybody have any other?
I meant to ask John about special permits. I hope they come back to the planning board.
Oh,
Are they talking about it?
No, so that's why I would
wanted to talk.
just, nudge every now and then, because so many are issued. And I think it is, as you'll see in this webinar, is usually, a planning board item, not,
It always does.
and not, otherly motivated boards.
Why did that?
Yeah, I'm in the planning board, we do all special.
Right,
Oh, you
we used to,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Right,
I don't know whether that suggestion came from the people who were helping us write the code. Or if it was.
No,
a trustee,
yeah,
it was a trustee.
it was,
decision.
right, and I feel very strongly that it should be back in planning board.
What was the reasoning to take it away? If you know, if you don't, it doesn't matter.
I don't know that I ever knew.
Hmm.
But it happened.
Interesting.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, I think that's something to consider. Obviously, it's not really our call.
But the planning board can
But we
certainly
can
make
make-
recommendations to
Yeah.
the village board.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely something we should think about and discuss, I think.
They probably form a request to the board of trustees from the board.
Right?
Yeah, we can maybe write something up and explaining our reasons why we
Right.
think that this would be a good change.
Right.
Good idea.
So oftentimes when a change to the code has been suggested, with whatever administration, and then it kind of comes back, well, it's expensive to do things piecemeal.
Right.
Is that true?
That's not true. So
Good.
it's expensive to send it to the codification company to put it in the code.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to have it in the code, you could send it to them in bulk and they can do everything at once. They do charge, I think, general code charges by the hour, usually billed to like the 10th of the hour when they're editing and putting it in. But generally, if you're doing an update and you're updating whatever local law you wanna pass, you're paying for the attorney time, and that's
Mhm.
strict attorney time, and then the clerk files it with the Secretary of State and it becomes law. I think the concern with a lot of municipalities is the actual
The
codification.
codification.
And it is costly, but
Mhm.
if you wanna be transparent and have it available
Mhm.
to
Right.
your constituents, then
Right.
that's really the only remedy.
Right.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yes, but
Yeah. Right.
not.
And it's not like you have to necessarily do that every time. You could do it at the end of each year or something.
And they'll still bill, to the 10th of the hour like attorneys do,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I don't really know that there's a better solution.
So Steve mentioned that the New York State has new laws or regulations that are going to be thrust upon you, is that right? And so how are those laws incorporated?
Is that new building code?
Yeah, it's going, it won't affect you really, it affects me and, people like John, but I mean, as far as the requirements for
Right, no, but I just wondered, like, when changes like that occur, what is the, I mean, what is that expense as opposed to?
That probably isn't an expense. I would venture to say your code probably says something like whatever the current.
Whatever,
Uniform building,
okay.
building code is,
Uh-huh.
that the village adopts the uniform
Okay.
building code. And that's what's
Okay.
in effect, and then state law, when they adopt the new uniform building code, I think 2020 was the last one, so this will be.
Yeah,
2026
they're
iteration.
gonna require sprinklers in residential home.
What?
Really?
Whoa,
Wow.
okay.
They'll just
In-
adopt
in
it.
new,
It just new.
They do,
Okay.
like all building code, they do new codes every 5 years, but it takes the state almost a year to adopt it. So that's why 2025 is just looking around, it's been here, it's been there for a while. No, sorry,
It's okay.
This,
I said they update codes, it's the, you know, ICC, like international codes, and they update them every 5 years, but it takes New York about a year to adopt them, so they're just like adopting them now.
Yeah, January first is when in 2025 will come out.
Right, yeah.
I actually started classes today on the change. So.
Right, but homes don't need to comply like any home, it's like, you know, even
New
my
homes,
home was
yeah.
built in 1830, it doesn't comply with any code
Sure.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to do, you know, major renovations or, you know, it depends on your.
There's one here, and they haven't changed it yet, because you're here, historic preservation here. The
Right.
rules are not the same for this, because any other outward community, when you touch a home now, it used to be the 50%.
50%,
Your
yeah.
grandfather, no, they're throwing that all away.
Oh, they are, okay,
Oh, yeah, when you upgrade a home, you're gonna be shocked.
Wow,
Really?
interesting. Well, I guess we're lucky here. All
okay.
right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and move to adjourn our meeting until our December meeting.
Second?
Member Shannon, second. Member Powers,
Aye.
member Shannon,
Aye.
member Van Duzen,
aye.
member Rhoda,
I.
Chair Cook,
Aye.
motion passes.
Nice meeting everyone.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Thanks for being